Welcome back to the Boneyard Podcast, everybody. This is your host, Jared Shafford, along with my good acquaintance, friend,
Wow.
Artemis
Wow.
Brower.
Wow.
Artie.
Acquaintance. No. We're not skipping over that.
No, the reason I called you an acquaintance is this week, one of our favorite traditions. My personally, maybe my favorite week of the year, Hate Week. I hate it. I here's the time for us to air our grievances.
Hate.
Air our grievances with college football, college athletics as a whole. We can even air out things here on the podcast. Hey, we're not going to do that. I love Artie. He's more than an acquaintance. But tonight, I have a feeling we're going to disagree on some things, Artie.
We're going to disagree. We always disagree on some things.
I do have a feeling we're going to disagree on some things, which is going to be fine. We were talking before we went live about something that I talked about during Hate Week last year, and come to find out, producer Josh, who's behind the scenes right now on the ones and twos, agrees with me, but for different reasons. So, Artie, you may be outnumbered or outmanned at points, but hey, I may be outnumbered or outmanned in other points of the podcast. We're gonna bring in Josh later on to really get Hate Week like going, but love this week. It's I gotta admit, like, it was an idea that if I steal something, I'm gonna tell you I steal it. I heard this idea on Unnecessary Roughness, a Barstool podcast. It's the Barstool College Football Podcast, and I was like, this is great. This is great. So, hey, it's not the most original content at times, but it's original from us because it's coming from these two brains, not Brandon Walker and Casey Smith and whoever they've got on the podcast now. But Artie, how are we doing?
We're good, brother. We're good. It's been a long week so far. Had to travel in office this week. That's always a long week. But we got one more day, brother. We got one more day, and I'm flying solo tonight. The fiance is down visiting her mom for her birthday at the beach. So a little lonely and a little tired, but we're good.
All by myself. YouTube, do not take us down. No, good for you, man. Look, you'll find as you move into married life, the occasions where your spouse is traveling, you miss them. But it's also nice to just kind of like, okay, I'm going to have a bro night. I'm going to eat whatever I want to. I'm going to play video games until 4 o'clock in the morning.
Bro, I'm going to crash when we're done with this. I'm going to get off this and crash.
That's Marty for you.
Your boy is tired.
Artemis is, you can't mess with Artie. The thing Artie hates most is not getting enough sleep.
That is you hit the nail on the head.
Look,
I am one of the nicest guys you will ever meet when I get adequate sleep. If I do not get adequate sleep,
it's terrible.
I don't know who you're gonna get.
You don't want to be around him. You do not want to be around him. He earned the nickname Marty in our house, and I guess in college earned the nickname Marty because he was a real asshole when he didn't get enough sleep, or when he woke up and it seemed like he always woke up on the wrong side of the bed. But what are you gonna do? See, I'm the opposite. I fall asleep anywhere, but I don't need much sleep. I'll be up till 2 o'clock in the morning and then be right back up at 6 a.m. Like, okay, let's do it.
No, absolutely not.
That's just what we do here, man.
You know it's gonna come back to bite you in the ass too. You know that's gonna come back to bite you, brother.
I'm digging an early grave, but
no, we should not be out here just claiming if we want to die early.
I don't want to, but hey, the work never stops. The grind never stops. All right, Artie. Number 4. Do you have a number 4?
I do have a number 4.
Okay.
And I
let's hear it.
can't, in the 4 years of this podcast, however long we've been doing it, I can't remember who ever said this guy's name. We might have, but I can't remember if we have. Um, but I want to give some special teams some love. I want to give the kickers some love. This guy is chalk when it comes to kickers, to be honest with you. He's, in my opinion, no, he's the second greatest kicker of all time. Because I do believe Justin Tucker is the GOAT of all GOATs when it comes to kicking in football. But Adam Vinatieri is my number 4 for the week. When it comes to rings and like postseason performance and just like if we need a field goal to win a Super Bowl, put in Adam Vinatieri and don't put in nobody else. That's your guy. So my number 4, showing the kickers some love, showing the special teams some love. Adam Vinatieri. I'm pretty sure he won Super Bowls, obviously with the Patriots, but I think he won one with the Colts as well in 07 when they beat my beloved Bears in the Super Bowl down in Miami. I think he's like a 4-time Super Bowl champion, something like that, something ridiculous. But him, Justin Tucker, 1A, 1B, however you want to put it, and then it's like a large gap between number 3. So that will be my number 4 for the week. Good old Adam Vinatieri.
That's a good one. That's a good one. It's chalk, but it's like barely chalk.
Yeah.
Like I wouldn't have thought like Adam Vinatieri wasn't the one that like first came to my mind.
Like he's chalk, but he's still an underrated 4 with all that he's accomplished.
Yeah. Four's a tough number because I mean it's not one of those numbers that you see a lot of like guys wear. Like the first number 4 that popped into my head, and this isn't mine, but the first number 4, the GOAT 4, in my opinion, is Bobby Orr, Boston Bruins. Defenseman, right? Like a lot of defensemen like grow up and are like amazed by the things that Bobby Orr was able to do. And I mean he was like the first like true pure offensive defenseman, which I mean that's an oxymoron, right? But he changed the game of how defense plays the game of hockey. But that's not my number 4. That's too much chalk.
That's too chalk. Yeah, that's way too chalk.
Mine, Artie, none other, Carolina Hurricanes legend, 2-time Stanley Cup champ,
legend,
Aaron Ward. Played in just under 840 games with 839, 44 goals, 107 assists. I mean, won a Stanley Cup with the Hurricanes in 06. I'm trying to remember when the other cup he won was. My guess, okay, it was probably that 2001 Stanley Cup team in Detroit. He was on the Red Wings for a bit, then came to Carolina, was with the Canes in 01, 02, and then he won the cup in 06 with the Hurricanes. I mean, just one of those guys like a lunch pail guy, like guy that he brings his lunch to work, he does his job, and he's not flashy. Back then, hockey wasn't flashy, but he was just gonna come in.
Hockey's still not flashy. What are you talking about?
Man, you're not watching the right hockey.
Oh, it's flashy now?
It is. There's some flash.
Oh, so then you should like the NBA then, right? It's flashy sports.
It flashy in the sense of there's skill, but they still like play a hard-nosed game, which I don't think the NBA does at all. Sorry about it. They just don't. But Aaron Ward, that's my number 4, Hurricanes legend. Josh, I see you jumped in. What's up?
I got a quick number 4 for you guys.
Go ahead.
Ryan Suckup. He only wore the number 4 for like a year. Kicker. 2009's Mr. Irrelevant. Okay.
That's
From
cool.
my hometown, my high school, Hickory High School. Okay. Now, 2 or 3 good things about Ryan Suckup, right? In has the most consecutive field goals within 50 yards for the Tennessee Titans. So got that for him. He also scored the most points on the Buccaneers in the 2020 season, the year Tom Brady joined the team and Rob Gronkowski was there. Okay. And then he also took something away from Brock Purdy as being the first Mr. Irrelevant to play in and win a Super Bowl as a player and a starter. So Brock Purdy can't be the first. He can be the second, but Ryan Suckup, hometown hero,
Wow.
Or
Okay.
Mr.
do we
Irrelevant.
First
do we
Mr.
count-
Relevant to play in and win a Super Bowl. Wow.
do we
Okay.
count specialists as starters though?
Yes, starting place kicker.
Yeah.
He was listed. Adam Vinatieri, starting
I
place
was about
kicker.
to say,
Dude, think about Pat McAfee and Adam Vinatieri on the same team. One of them, they were
you
both
gotta take away
starters.
2 of Brady's rings without Vinatieri.
Like they are starters.
Like literally gotta take away 2 rings without Vinatieri.
they warmed up. They weren't the holders. They actually
I'll
warmed up their legs.
I'll just say like when they're calling out the starters, you never hear kicker.
Yes, you
Like-
do. It's the first thing.
Look, let me tell you something. You think Baltimore wants to do away with Justin Tucker right now? You think they don't know they got an ace in the hole that can kick a 60-yarder with a playoff game on the line? That's a starter, bro.
That's a starter. And then think of the consistency of 56 straight field goals within 50 yards. Like 56 straight. Like
Is that a Tennessee Titans like only record, or is that like
yeah,
NFL
that's
record?
Tennessee Titans only.
That's
Yeah.
a very specific record to have.
Hey, still a record. It's just like being the first Mr. Relevant to start and be an active player
Hey,
on a Super Bowl winning team for the game.
Hey,
sick.
look, he had points in that Super Bowl.
He scored the most
scored
points on the
points.
Buccaneers when Tom Brady was there.
That's the thing
They
that
had-
amazes
I mean,
me.
think about it.
That's the thing that amazes me is it's always the kickers that always have the most points on a team, right? Like you wouldn't
Extra
think
points
that,
and field
but
goals all
right.
the time.
they're always getting points.
When the offense fails, when they get just close enough, but they fail, guess who comes and helps?
One could say the most important man on the field is the kicker. Kickers are going to win ball games.
In a certain situation, in a clutch situation where you need a kicker, yes, absolutely.
And think about this. Ryan Suckup is also 10th on South Carolina's all-time scoring list.
Mm.
Like,
Is he still playing in the league? Is Sucker still playing?
no, I think he retired 22. He
Okay.
retired after 22.
It's wild.
I did not know he was
Right,
that
right.
successful, though.
I honestly didn't know he was from North Carolina.
I didn't either.
Yeah.
I didn't either. That's awesome to know, though.
That's good. And we got a text. Special teams matters. Kickers are players too. Take a guess on who that's from. All right. Shout out to the College Huddle, Boneyard podcast. Proud to be members of that. Doing a lot of great stuff. I know that there's some stuff going on behind the scenes for some athletes here at ECU from some people in the College Huddle. It's really cool to see. We're doing work with them, and we're excited for what's to come. All right, let's get into it. Let's just get into it. We're not gonna get right into Hate Week already, but we're gonna talk a little bit. Last week we talked. What do we do? Did we do DBs and quarterbacks?
And we did linebackers.
Okay, yeah,
Sure.
linebackers and quarterbacks. This week we're gonna do honestly probably one of the most stacked rooms still, and we're gonna do 2 offensive positions this week. Let's start. I'm gonna switch things up a little bit.
I knew you were starting with tight ends.
Yeah, let's go to tight ends. Let's start off. You got Tyler Savage, right, and you got Desario Riles, and then you also have the transfer Casey Kelly, who played at Ole Miss, transferred to Oregon, then has now grad transferred to East Carolina. So he's familiar with JDB.
Yeah.
Played in 35 games over the seasons that he was in Mississippi at Ole Miss, and played in 13 games last season with the Ducks and scored 2 touchdowns. I mean, this is a Oregon Ducks team that they went to the college football playoff last year, didn't they?
No.
They played Liberty.
Right. Had they not lost to Washington twice, they would have played Michigan in the national championship, probably.
Yeah. So, I mean, both of these rooms are pretty stacked, right? Like Tyler Savage being a senior, I really like the transition he's made. Transitioning from the defensive side of the ball to the offense, playing tight end.
That's a huge transition, man.
And I really like that. I think it really comes down. I think you give Riles another year. I mean, he played in 11 games last year, but I think you run it with Kelly and Tyler Savage. That's just my opinion. Artie, I'd like to.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, Savage making that jump, right, is such a huge jump. So obviously, I don't think he's going to be the one. Obviously, he may not be the 2, but I think his experience with this locker room, knowing what the play sheet and the play calls are, knowing what these coaches want, and what and what Coach Mike Houston wants, I think he's going to be pivotal, not just in that tight end room, but just in the locker room, period. Like Savage is one of those leaders, one of those guys that's going to be pivotal, period. So he's going to be obviously important. I think Kelly is, when you look at this room,
I think he's the one.
He's got to be the one. And he probably should be the one. And obviously you got to earn that. But if we're looking at his track record, we're looking at what he did last year. We're looking at the 2 touchdowns, playing the D1 level and not the D1 level, but the Power 5 level, and playing in an environment like Oregon and playing against the kind of competition that they were playing against. I think clearly he's probably going to be the one. It's really who steps up as the 2 in that time room. And I think – go ahead.
I think you'll see a mixture of Riles and Savage.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I think Kelly, he's going to be your main tight end.
Yeah.
I just do take into consideration, like you talk about knowing the playbook. This is a completely different playbook than what we had last year.
That is true.
And
that is true.
You brought in somebody that knows the guy calling the plays, right? You brought in Casey Kelly, who spent 3 seasons with JDB at Ole Miss. And granted, JDB wasn't calling those plays, but he was the co-offensive coordinator there. So I really like having that. Like he knows kind of the system already, which these guys going into the fall, they're going to know the playbook. They're going to know everything by heart. Like they could recite it in their sleep. Right. But having somebody that's played in this system, I think is key to, as we were talking about before we jumped on y'all, we were talking about like who we're using in dynasty mode on college football. Your tight end is always kind of like one of those fail safes, right? Like he's going to be the guy that's going to fight for the ball and can out muscle somebody. And when you have a team with new quarterbacks and they're still trying to work out that chemistry with their other receivers, it's nice to know that you have somebody that knows the offense already inside and out.
It would just, getting back to a guy who not only is going to produce and block the way, tight end needs to block, but be that safety blanket, right? Like a guy like Kelly, who has been a journeyman, who has played at Ole Miss, who has played at Oregon. He's a graduate guy. Like he's got all the experience in the world. To have that in the building, right, and to hopefully for him develop into being that safety net, that safety blanket for a first-time starter here at East Carolina, not a first-time starter overall, but a first-time starter at this program under these, new coaches, that's going to be pivotal. So I think the tight end room is a lot to be desired, but I think Kelly is going to be the anchor of that.
For sure. Josh, do you have anything on the tight end room? He's shaking his head. Oh,
No, just one of my favorite rooms to cheer for. I was a tight end at heart, but I was a center on the field.
I, I'll never. I don't know if I've ever told this story on the podcast. So, I played, or I went to the same school, and I went to the same school in high school, middle school, as none other than ECU legend Bryce Williams, buddy of mine.
Yep.
Like, no Bryce, know his family, and he was a year older than me, so I wouldn't have started over Bryce either way. I didn't play football. I didn't grow up playing football. I should have. I grew up playing hockey and baseball, and hockey was my aggressive sport, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I tried out for the middle school baseball team, and where I went to middle school, it was very political. The baseball team, as a lot of sports are at North Davidson, very political, and ended up not making the team. Oh well, like that was 7th grade. It wasn't even like a sanctioned team. And I was walking through the hall, and the coach, the baseball coach, was also the football coach in middle school. And he walked up to me. I'll never forget the day he walked up to me in 7th grade and saw me walking down the halls. And he was like, "Hey man, like, why aren't you in football? Why don't you play football?" And I was like, "Do you know who I am? Like, do you, like, not in a like shitty way, but like, do you not remember me? You cut me 2 weeks ago from the baseball team." And he was like, "Man, I'd make you my starting tight end. If I played, I would have loved to be tight end. Tight end, and then like, I feel like that would. Hey, Ari, tell him about the time in B-side football."
My goodness.
Jared
did have a touchdown catch and run.
Damn right.
In B-side football. And I'll be honest, you was light on your toes. All right. For a big boy, he was light on his toes. All right. I would give Jared that. I will not deny him his moment in the sun. That boy was light on his feet. He was moving.
I hit a spin move. I did like a stutter step. Man, we were playing one of the Divine Nine fraternities, and
it was Omega. It was Omega Psi.
Yeah, and
we're playing Omega Psi.
And one of the guys came up to me. He was like, "I'm not mad. I'm not mad that y'all beat us. I'm mad because it was a game-winning touchdown to send us to the championship." He said, "I'm not mad y'all beat us. I'm mad that the big white boy beat us."
The big white boy beat us, yeah.
That was the biggest compliment I could have ever gotten in my life.
Absolutely.
I was like, I walked around with my chest bowed out for.
I mean, you gotta understand, these are Q dogs, man. They gotta go back to the house and be like, "Yeah, man, we lost. Who'd y'all lose to?" It was just like real clumsy white guy to be.
I mean, it was phenomenal. Like,
it was good. I'll give you that. It was good. I honestly like my biggest regret. Like I love playing football, and I love playing safety, and I love playing running back. But if I could be honest with you, if I had the size to be a pass rusher, that was my dream position. I wanted to rush the quarterback.
I
wanted to sack the quarterback. I wanted to be a pass rusher. I was never ever even half the size to be a legit pass rusher, but that was my dream position.
That would. Other than tight end, I think that would be my
like that. That was the one position on the field. Was like if I had the size to be that, I wanted to be that.
Bang bodies and like
mano a mano. Let's roll.
Yeah, I'm probably not. I probably had the right like figure earlier in my life, but now, no, like I got way too big. I'm more of an offensive lineman now. More of a center. But all right.
Center.
What?
You were good. You were good right tackle. I'll put you a right tackle.
There we go. All right. Anything else on tight ends? Otherwise we can move to maybe the deepest room still on this team. All right, let's talk running backs. Obviously, I mean, we know the top three, right? We know Rajay Harris, We know Marlon Gunn, and we know JVS Bond. I think those are, I mean, easily your top three going into this year. Rajay, captain of the offense, kind of one of the constant leaders of this team ever since he came in. Marlon Gunn, who's he's kind of that blend of your heavy down back but also like a shifty back.
Right.
Like Raj is a little, he's shifty, but I've always seen him more of a, hey, like I'm going to bust your nose and get that extra yard. But then you got JVS Bond, who, I mean, he's not Keaton Mitchell. He's not Keaton Mitchell speed. And that's not a knock on JVS Bond. That's just Keaton Mitchell is a different breed.
Keaton Mitchell is an NFL running back who had he stayed healthy, might be the guy in that Baltimore room right now. So,
and I mean, Keaton Mitchell went undrafted and then played in, I believe, 4 games last year in the NFL.
And just went on the tear.
Just absolute menace.
Yeah. So I mean, getting compared to Keaton means you're NFL worthy. That's high praise.
He's your explosive back, right? JVS Bond is your explosive back. And I hope to God, I do not need to see JVS Bond on special teams at all this year.
No.
Like, that is what hurt him. Covering a kickoff is what hurt him. I do not need to see him out there on special teams again this year. Make note of it. I don't care. JVS Bond should not be playing special teams.
Yep.
Raj to me is still, he's going to be the guy getting the most of your workload. This guy is giving it all to East Carolina. He's got the skills and he's got the leadership mentality. To me, he's your number one back.
I mean, absolutely. Like, if you think about it, I think Roger's clearly the one with everything that he's done, everything that he's earned on this team. But obviously, when you look at last year's team, obviously the offense was inept and the play calling was inept. And I think the stats that you see from a lot of these guys are because of that. And then also Raj is coming off of that injury that he had in 2022. I think now 2 years removed from the injury, new play calling, he still had almost 500 yards rushing with a very inept, pretty bad offense. I think he's pushing close to 1,000 at least this season. I think he has that bounce back kind of season, and obviously this is going to be his last year with the program. I definitely think he has that bounce back season this year. To me, it's really between, Bond and Gunn. Like, who is really going to step up as the two? Because ECU is normally a running back by committee kind of room, right? You have your 1A, you have your 1B. Who's going to be that 1B to Raj? Like, that, to me, that's what I'm thinking about when I think of this running back room.
Yeah, and I do think we'll see. I think we'll see multiple of them at times in this playbook, but I'm going with Raj, and then to me, I think, and I hate to say this, but just like when you had Raj and Keaton, you had that yin and yang, right? Like that hard nose, like heavy down, back. But then you also had that explosive.
D'Angelo Williams and Jonathan Stewart.
Right.
Power and speed.
But then you look at that, okay, Marlon Gunn is a mix of those two. But I think you got to go with Bond just because of the explosiveness.
You think Bond's gonna take the edge on Gunn?
Yeah, but I still think you're gonna see Gunn plenty. Like I think you're gonna see plenty of all three of them. Now how much do they get used in the plays? I don't know. But like I do think that you're gonna see Marlon Gunn out there. And Marlon Gunn knows that after this year, like I believe he has 2 more years of eligibility left. He's gonna be the guy.
And you mentioned yin and yang, and I'm happy you brought that back because Raj is definitely like he's more of your traditional power back runner, right? Like he's gonna run north and south. He's gonna get you those, he's gonna run it in between the lines. If we can have somebody to complement him, not just as from a speed perspective and from an explosive perspective, from a pass catching perspective too. Like if you can have another back who is a really good pass catcher out the backfield as well to complement that power and Raj and what he's gonna have, I think that goes a long way as well.
Yeah, at times, and Raj is great catching out of the backfield. I love when they get him mixed in with the passing game. I think that he's kind of that guy there, but that's also because he's going to be able to kind of truck stick somebody. And when you see him, like he's not the biggest dude out there, but that guy packs a punch, and that's what I love to see in my running back. Josh, what you got?
I think that Marlon Gunn is actually better suited for next season.
Mm-hmm.
If he, I didn't check the red shirt status. If he has a red shirt available, I might just let TJ Engelman get some play as a freshman, get him some experience. Because we don't have a super tough schedule this year. We're not playing in Michigan, right? It's not like it's not like it was last year where we had one of the toughest schedules. I would let your freshman play, sit Gunn, but let Gunn develop. Like let that just be a full. You're gonna take the spot. You're gonna take the lead spot as our all-around back, and then let Bond be your speed guy on that second year when you got the offense installed. You've got returners coming back. You've got a quarterback. Like you see, it's like that second year of this squad. If they play it right, it could go crazy.
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm thinking though. Bond is still so young. He could play this year and next year, and it be fine, and really not have to burn a red shirt from him. Or was he able to red shirt last year?
I'm not sure if he got the medical.
No, I haven't seen anything come out about that. I'm not sure either. But yeah, Engelman is he's a guy that's flying under the radar, and freshman. Threw for 1,200 yards as a quarterback last year in high school, and then ran for 600 plus as full-time quarterback.
Hold on, he was his high school's full-time quarterback?
Yeah, and he threw for 1,200 yards and rushed for 600.
2 seasons at quarterback. Spent most of last season, the year before as quarterback too. Like,
okay.
So, I really like this room, and I don't think that. I don't think we'll see as much of them at times. They're going to always be out there, but I don't think we're going to see them utilized as much as we saw in the running up the middle on 3rd and 7 playbook that Donnie Kirkpatrick was running. Hey, friend of the podcast, but
we love Donnie. It was just an old school playbook. That's all.
Man, it was something.
Hey, look, Donnie can still call a better offense than we can.
I don't know. I got ECU at number 6 in the country in Dynasty. I don't know about that.
Oh my goodness! Here we go.
Javius Bond is leading the country in running.
Here we go.
All right. Anything else on the position groups, Josh? Already you want to add?
Javius transferred from my squad after the first year, so it was nothing personal. It was nothing personal. But
do you know where you transferred to?
No, I don't keep up with my transfers. Once you leave, you're like,
go.
I'll tell you, I'm a dog. I'm a dog in the recruiting. Like, I'm out there getting guys.
I do want to ask this though, since the totals last year from a rushing perspective were absolutely atrocious. What are we doing over under on? I'm gonna say 1,100
combined.
Yes, 1,100
combined between all running backs.
Well, okay, I'm gonna say top 2. Top two. And I'm not going to say all running backs, but
1,100. That means you have two 550-yard backs.
Or you have
Way
one
over.
really good back and
Yeah.
one decent back.
I mean, I look, last year Raj was playing with a knee brace and was still hitting like topping out his speed at like
1,100
20.8.
between two backs is not asking a lot.
Yeah, I think it's over easily.
Yeah, I think it's over by a lot.
I think you're pushing closer to at least
17.
Yeah, I was going to be a little more conservative than that. I was going to say 15, but I think you're hitting that, especially with the schedule you have, and I mean you've brought in some meat on the offensive line as well. Like we know what the offensive line has been at ECU.
Mm-hmm.
Plus you've got competent play calling. The only thing that I think keeps them from maybe getting to 1,700 is the explosive play calling from JDB. That would be the only thing that I think keeps them from it. All right. Let's move along. Let's get into Hate Week.
Let's do it.
Let's do it.
Oh, you starting late, brother. You starting late. We started at the beginning of the show, man.
I had to use my brain, Artie.
At the beginning of the show. Come on now.
You don't have a brain you have to turn on and off. I do.
Okay. My brain's always on, brother.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
On,
Let's talk about Josh. I saw you put together some categories for us, and we're just gonna give like our least favorite from those categories. Maybe we'll do our bottom three from those categories. Give me one of them.
All right. Let's start off with rivalries. What are the rivalries that you just don't care for?
Okay.
That's a good one. Rivalries that I do not care for. Go ahead, Jay.
One that just doesn't really like do it for me. And maybe this isn't the biggest rivalry that could be had with these teams. I would say Penn State, Ohio State. I can't remember. Does that rivalry have a name? I don't even know. But I don't know that. I guess I'm always just looking forward to Ohio State, Michigan when looking at that game. But Penn State, Ohio State, that does nothing for me.
Okay. I definitely have one right off the top of the dome because to me it's a very big rivalry, and I could guess somewhat understand why it's important to the people of that state. But to me, it's never really that compelling of a game. It's always kind of boring.
I know where you're going. What was that?
Georgia, Florida.
Okay, that's not where I thought you were going. Okay.
World's biggest tailgate or greatest tailgate. It's just not
the world's largest cocktail party.
Whatever it is.
The greatest rivalry there is.
You think so?
I think that George, as growing up a Florida fan, there was nothing. Okay. Hold on. All right. So, okay. So for me personally, this is very personal to me. Okay. I grew up a Florida fan. Grew up loving the blue and orange. I could sing the fight song. I can even sing the alma mater. Mm-hmm. But I've never been to a game yet, so that's on the bucket list. They went up against Georgia. Their main color was blue. My middle school's main color was blue. Georgia was red and black. My middle school rival, red and black, and they used the same block G. There was nothing I hated more than whoever Grandview Middle School thought they were trying to copy as the Georgia Bulldogs. I despised it. And then for it to be Florida, Georgia, I was like, this is amazing. This is great. Seeing that stadium filled. And then you got to remember, we grew up in the Tim Tebow era, so like Florida was flying high. That's just So like it
Aaron
always means something.
Hernandez. Aaron
It-
Hernandez was still hanging
the thing
around.
is, the game that game always means something.
I don't know. I just feel like over the last decade, that game just hasn't really meant much. It just hasn't
Nobody
meant
caught
much.
that.
And the decade before, yes, we caught it. The decade before, it didn't mean anything either because Florida was winning. But that's the point. Is that that's the game. That's how you know who's the winner of the
I don't want
SEC
that,
East.
bro. I don't want that. I don't want it. Like every time I see Florida Georgia, it's usually a blowout, right? And it's usually a Georgia blowout, and then before that, it was a Florida blowout. But it's not a compelling game. It's not a game that I need to sit and watch because if you have these two ginormous programs, which is why it doesn't mean much to me because it's Florida Georgia. It's supposed to be the greatest rivalry, like you say, on earth, but the games are mostly boring.
It is the SEC East Championship. Okay, the SEC East Championship ran through the Florida Georgia game. Okay, like,
and then they usually lost to Alabama and Nick Saban.
That's fine. Sometimes less miles than LSU. It happens.
Right. For me, I'm just like, Florida Georgia. It's a very big rivalry. To me, is like,
So, Josh, what's your least favorite rivalry game?
It's a civil conflict.
I think that's people don't the real ones know what the civil conflict is.
Yeah.
But to the common man, they have no idea what the civil conflict is.
Exactly. And if you know what it is, then you probably
You're a real one.
And that's and that's just how it is.
All right. I want to do another one because and maybe it's just I kind of like what you were saying, Artie.
Mm-hmm.
As far as over the last decade or so, it's gotten a little bit better now, but like the games haven't been as compelling, in my opinion. Is the Red River rivalry, that Texas-Oklahoma overtime? Like,
oh no, bro, what?
What? I mean, hasn't been compelling.
Red River, they've had like overtime games like 2 years ago, bro. What are you talking about?
Yeah, but like it's been where Oklahoma is like the king, and then over the last 2 years, what? Texas? Yeah, the games have been closer the last 2 years, but
the games have been great.
And also, nobody plays defense in that game.
I get that Oklahoma might have won most of them, but the games have been phenomenal.
I don't know. I just feel like, I don't know. To me, a rivalry game, I get it. It's played at the state fair. To me, a rivalry game is played the last week of the season.
Is half crimson, half burnt orange.
Here's
a beautiful look.
Here's my thing. Jared, I'm going to call you a casual college football watcher because Oklahoma won last year's Red River rivalry. How are we forgetting? Oklahoma has not been a slouch. They had one bad season under Brent. Other than that,
that's fair.
It's still compelling.
It's one that like I don't get up for. I just don't get up for. Like everybody else seems like super excited about it. Like I would say the same thing about the Iron Bowl at times.
Vince Young, Colt McCoy, Sam Bradford, Baker Mayfield over the course of our lifetimes playing in Red River, bro. You don't get up for that? Like what?
I when somebody tells me, oh, it's the Red River rivalry week, like, okay, cool. Like, I'm not like pumped up for that. Who's ECU playing?
Oh wow. Okay.
It's not the talk of the town for me.
Yeah, Red River, like, I mean, and then when they fill out the Cotton Bowl and it's so aesthetically pleasing, bro, at the state fair, and you got 50%
rivalry game should be played the last week of the season, no matter what.
Like,
I don't care who the game is.
College football supposed to look like.
I don't care. Man. I don't care.
Okay.
I don't care. You can clip this. I don't care. Like, rivalry week should be played the last week of the season, no matter what.
Red River this year gonna be great too. It's gonna be a good game. Wow.
Yeah, two bottom tier SEC teams playing.
No, absolutely not. Absolutely not.
I feel like I think we have some Texas fans watching right now, so
Absolutely not.
I'm going
bro.
after them. But
I think Texas and Oklahoma are going to have something to say year one.
you think so?
Absolutely not. Yes. Brent's figured it out. Brent's going to be fine. Brent at Oklahoma.
Who do you think wins the SEC this year? Be real. Who do you think wins the SEC this year? Is it Georgia?
I mean, Georgia's the clear favorite, but I mean, Texas was in the playoff last year. We got it. Well, why are we forgetting that Texas made the college football playoff and returns their quarterback and returns a whole bunch of other starters? Why are we just thinking that Texas is going to win like 8 games? Like, no, they're going to be legit.
I don't know. That
Georgia's the favorite. But
I think there's more parity in the SEC this year. And so I don't necessarily know who comes away with it.
Hot take: Georgia doesn't even make the SEC championship game this year.
Woo!
Who do you think? Tennessee?
Hey, there's no divisions.
Oh yeah,
It's top 2 teams. 2 losses in one loss. I mean, yeah, like there's. I mean, that's hot take, but it's the top 2 records, top 2 overall records.
Georgia don't even get in. Okay.
SEC
is going to be.
I can't wait till Bama goes like 9-3, 8-4, and their fans' heads explode.
Well, like they got to understand. Not only are they making a coaching change from the greatest of all time, but they're entering a better SEC. So
exactly.
9 wins is a success.
That's me being conservative with that take. I could very well see them winning 7 games.
Like if you're being a realistic Alabama fan, which does not exist, but that's a success. It's 9 wins.
Just like a realistic Dallas Cowboys fan, Duke Blue Devils fan. Wait, they're all the same people.
Lakers, Yankees, Cowboys.
Yeah. We know somebody like that.
All right, we're gonna go to the next one. All right, give me mascot. Give me a mascot that you just.
Oh, we've done this before too. Oh, that's a good one. Mascot that we hate, right? They're just absolutely just.
And it can be
like a big name one.
It can be any, and it can be based on how they look. It can be based on something that they do. It can be based on just the animal that it is, or the thing that it isn't, or whatever. Just whatever.
I got mine. I got 2.
Okay,
2.
go ahead.
First is Pistol Pete, Oklahoma State. That big ass head.
You know
who I'm talking about?
Yeah. Honestly, Oklahoma State was the last team I ran dynasty with in college football 2014. That was my team. I ran dynasty with. So.
I could almost say the same thing for I don't know the guys like the name, but the Purdue guy. Like
the Boilermaker?
The Boilermaker, like the same head. Like it's the same kind of head. Like the big head on a small body does not do it for me.
I get it.
Like, sorry about it. Those 2, and then lastly, the Nittany Lion, just because it looks like a teddy bear.
Oh no, I kind of like the Nittany Lion, man. I don't mind it. I don't mind the Nittany Lion.
Nah, I don't mind the Nittany Lion.
I don't mind it. For me, I guess if I had to name one, I just because to me, I feel like it's overhyped and it's just a basic ass tree. That's the Stanford mascot.
Nah, the Stanford tree is a.
The Stanford tree is not it. The Stanford tree is not it.
As somebody that's been to a game, I saw Stanford play USC in the I guess it would have been the 2017 Pac-12 championship in Levi's Stadium. And was up close and personal with the Stanford tree, like sitting in the section next to the Stanford band. that was like the tree was all out. Like he was a mood.
I don't know. I can't get with the tree. I get with you. And honestly, an honorable mention though, because I actually this just came to me. Western Kentucky, Big Red. I hate Big Red. I hate Big Red.
How do you hate Big Red?
Absolutely hate Big Red. I overhype. I see it way too often. Western Kentucky, who the hell are they? I hate Big Red. No.
Big Red is an icon.
No. Absolutely not.
Big Red?
A red blob is an icon with WKU on the front? Absolutely not. No.
Do you see those helmets they did last year, like the position group helmets?
Thank you, Josh. That is atrocious. That is awful.
That's how I looked running. That's how I looked running down the sideline. That's how I looked running down the sideline. And
I'm looking at a character from Sesame Street. What am I looking at?
It's the red grimace.
Absolutely not. I know a lot of people.
Those helmets are fire.
Those helmets are trash. Absolute boo-boo. Those are not fire. That is absolutely
I think they're
not.
great.
No. The red thing from the McDonald's, is that what you're talking about?
I said he's like the red grimace.
Yes. That's nothing but a McDonald's logo on the side. No, absolutely not.
All right, Josh, your turn.
Okay, the one that I hate. The BYU Cougar.
It's the same thing as the Nittany Lion.
No, it's not. It's the antics. It's the antics. It's the dancing with the dance team. Okay.
Yeah.
It's the trampolines. It's the push-ups on the board. Okay. It's the antics. And the thing is, it's the antics because it copies what used to be Oregon's whole thing with the duck. The duck did the push-ups, right? The duck was doing all the dancing.
Yeah.
You're just eating off of someone else's plate, and I don't respect it. I just don't respect it.
Is this a Mandela effect? Does Petey not do the push-ups anymore?
He does. We don't score.
That's true. Maybe that's why it's a Mandela.
No joke. No joke. They stopped doing it last season because like it stopped being a thing. Like we were scoring so little, they stopped doing it.
But
it felt like
a lot of like Clemson's thing is the mask. They put the mascot up on the board and he does push-ups. Yeah,
that wasn't a thing until Oregon did it.
Clemson's been doing that forever.
Are you sure?
I was saying Oregon's been doing it forever too. They've been doing that for a long.
I feel like that's just a thing. I feel like that's just I don't know who started it.
But Oregon made it famous. So that's all that matters.
Can I say?
Oh, okay, it was actually Clemson. It was.
Okay,
I'll give it to you.
Call me a college football casual one more time, Josh. I dare you.
Love it.
Can I say this isn't a D1 mascot, but can I say the greatest mascot is the Delta State Fighting Okra? Look it up. It's a thing.
Stop it.
It's a thing. Delta State's mascot is the Fighting Okra.
Hey, look, if we're talking about fighting okras, then I got to give UNCSA some love. All right.
The Fighting Pickles.
Fighting Pickles. All right. So, and they right down the street. They right here. They about 2 minutes away.
I know. And somebody, when I found out they were the Fighting Pickles, it was all over.
And they love their mascot. Trust me. I know. They love their mascot.
The fact that I remember ECU playing Delta State in basketball. I think we played them a couple of times recently, but yeah, they're the Fighting Okra. Do you have a picture, Josh?
I can't. Delta State. I'm trying to find it.
Some fried okra sounds good right now, though. Now I think about it, sounds really good.
I got it.
You got it.
Yeah.
Look at this mascot. Looks like something out of a nightmare.
I mean, at least it's original though, right? Like fried okra, or not fried okra, but fighting okra. I mean, at least it's original.
Look at this.
Oh,
thing.
that's awful though. Oh wow. Nah, you gotta try better than that. Yeah, you got to. I mean, my goodness.
That is the Delta. Imagine going into an interview. Oh yeah, you went to Delta State. What's their mascot? The Fighting Okra.
How do we scare children the most? That right there. Pull that out.
He's out of a nightmare, but yeah, Delta State Fighting Okra.
Goodness.
Josh, what else you got?
All right. Let's go color combinations. You guys kind of hit this last week a little bit, but
Okay.
like what color combinations do some people love to see on the field? I mean, and this can be a rivalry color too, like you love seeing the USC versus Notre Dame colors, right? Or you love seeing Ohio State versus Michigan. Who do you hate seeing?
The rivalry. I just had one. A rivalry color scheme that I don't like is Clemson, South Carolina. The orange and the garnet, I think that looks atrocious next to each other. I don't like that. Let me think on the one I hate the most as far as like just general color scheme. I think I know where I'm going with it, but I want to hear y'all's thoughts.
I mean, it's gonna come to me in a little while. I'm trying to think. Rivalry that I don't like seeing color combination wise. I mean, I guess
or it could just be a school color.
What's that?
I said, or it could just be like a school color, like you hate blue and orange together, like they don't go together. That's or like green and yellow, they don't go to like you can have that tape.
I guess I would say like loud, like any team that's got loud colors, which is like your really bright colors that don't mesh. I'm trying to think because I know I got one. I can't think of it right now. I mean really, and I know this is going to be very unpopular, but there are a lot of Oregon's colors that I do not like. To be honest with you, a lot of the combinations that I don't like just because they're too bright. It's that green and yellow, and I see it on the TV, and it's like, it's kind of annoying. I don't want to watch. I don't want to look at this for 3 hours. You know, like it's kind of annoying color to look at.
The 15 uniform combinations don't do it for me either.
And then they be wearing the random ass like brown and highlighter yellow sometimes, or just a random green and whatever. Now some of this stuff is absolute magic, fire, love it, Nike, Phil Knight, got it, cool. But then a lot of this stuff is like, I don't want to look at this for 3 hours. This is a very annoying combination.
I think I said mine last week. Any team that wears like the green and gold, like, and I'm thinking not just USF or Charlotte, or I think there was another UAB. I'm not just talking about those. I mean Baylor. I think the color combo just doesn't look good. And then also when like Baylor tried to do like all their neon stuff, I don't like the neon. So Oregon can miss. I don't like green. Like green historically has been my favorite color, but like I don't like it in a uniform.
Okay.
Also, honorable mention, Boise State.
I'll also say, just because I'm a Big Ten guy, I think Purdue's are very basic. I hate Purdue's colors in their uniforms. They have nothing original or nothing really that looks good. Purdue sucks as far as their colors and unis. And then, I'll put Wisconsin in there too, man. Wisconsin with that little basic ass red and white. They don't do nothing special with that either. So
I agree. Yeah. Red and white is the worst. The worst.
Does nothing for me.
Worst.
Nothing.
Sticking with the blue and orange, I would say the same about Syracuse and Illinois. But theirs aren't as in your face. I
got Illinois colors on right here, baby. Come on. Watch your mouth. Watch your mouth. Hold on now.
Tinley Park.
Hold on now. Illinois ain't that bad now. Hold on now. They're not the worst. They're not the worst.
I'm trying to think if there's any others that like just piss me off. Carolina Blue.
Nah, man. You just being a hater.
I don't like it. Like
Carolina Blue works. You just being a hater.
I like it when
Okay.
go ahead.
What about the same shade that ODU uses? That's just one slight shade off from
I like that
Carolina
better.
Blue.
I like that better. Still not crazy about it.
I
I like when they mix it with the navy though.
I need an example because I'm not sure. What
Oh, have you not seen the ODU? Okay, I got you.
Yeah,
I like when they mix it like the light blue pants with the blue like top. I don't like the white and the Carolina Blue. I just don't. Like their classic uniforms, I don't like them.
But the Carolina Blue, it is like such a unique, original color. Like to not like Carolina Blue is just because you just don't like Carolina. That's all that is. It's not because you got gripe with the color. You just got gripe with the actual school.
Hey, I mean, my wife went to Carolina. My brother-in-law went to Carolina. I don't have a gripe with the school. I mean, out of the universities, like I will talk shit about Carolina until I'm blue in the face, more of a Duke blue. But
some of the color combos are fire though, bro. You gotta give them that.
Some are, but I don't like the white in the Carolina Blue.
Okay.
I feel like that's reasonable.
Okay.
But yeah, I think like the darker ODU is fine. Also, Coastal Carolina's colors do nothing for me.
The teal and black.
That and their field is atrocious.
I don't like the field. Yeah, the field by itself can definitely.
I played them in the NCAA last week at Coastal, and I thought something was wrong with my screen.
Yeah, I mean, the colored field was made famous by one university, and it should only be
Eastern Washington
University, and yeah, so
Eastern Washington. Tell me about being a college football casual, Josh.
Okay, Eastern Washington, but can you name the better one?
Eastern Michigan.
No, that has a colored field.
Eastern Michigan has a colored field, don't they?
Oh, they do now?
They have the gray field.
Do they have a great? I didn't even know that. I didn't know that.
It's
Man,
great.
Eastern Washington, Coastal, Boise State. I didn't, and I think another FCS or.
Oh yeah, Eastern Michigan does have that gray, like they're playing on gravel.
Yeah, it looks like they play on gravel.
Yeah.
So you got Eastern Michigan, Eastern Washington, Boise State, and Coastal. Was there another one you were looking for?
Yes, the best one out of all of them.
Who are we talking about?
We're talking about the Central Arkansas.
Oh yeah, the purple and gray.
The purple and gray.
I guess yeah.
I was today years old when I saw this.
This is amazing.
That's not bad.
This is amazing.
That's not bad.
I mean, for an FCS, dude, like this is.
And for that, just the money they spent on that field alone, but just to keep it that pristine and keep it that.
Well, I mean, it's just turf. It's not like they're painting it.
Right.
Okay.
So, but still. I mean,
yeah, I didn't even know they had that. It's not bad. It's not bad.
What are those? Are they the Grizzlies?
Yeah, the Bears.
The Bears.
And the highest home winning percentage in their conference. It means something.
I'm glad you had that one. I've seen that field. I could not have pulled that it was Central Arkansas.
I did not know that. I was like I said, today years old. Didn't even know I had a field.
Y'all didn't know Eastern Michigan had a gray field?
No.
I just forgot about it. I don't think about Ryerson Stadium.
I don't know.
Exactly. So
Stop doing colored fields.
or if you're gonna do a color field, be extremely successful at all times.
And
You got to be very successful.
can that be a hot take? I don't like. I get why they do it, and I get it. I get the tradition. Boise State's field is. I hate it. Yeah, look at this. This looks like you just play on it looks like you're playing NFL Street.
And they just got rid of the track.
Mm.
That looks like you're playing in the on the prison yard.
Yeah, I'm not a fan. I'm not a fan.
I mean, taking away the track by itself just makes it look worse.
Because it's an eyesore. It just stands by itself now. Yeah.
Yeah, you should have left the track.
But who cares about Eastern Michigan? They're just trying to make a name for themselves. They're going nowhere fast.
All right, what's next?
That's all I had.
All right. Let's go back to the one that we were talking about pre-show. And this isn't my least favorite tradition because I know we talked about it, but like least favorite tradition.
Artie, I'll let you go first because I haven't heard yours.
Least favorite tradition. I mean, for me, that's easy. That's the Walk of Champions at Ole Miss. Because what champions are they walking for? They do that like before every single game. They have a Walk of Champions, walk through a little thing. I don't know what championship we won in my life.
College football casual, right, Josh? The Grove, walking through the Grove.
Right.
In my grandfather's life, I don't know what championship they won. Maybe somewhere about 80, 90, 100 years ago they won a championship. Maybe under Lane Kiffin, they're going to get something done. Probably, maybe, I don't know. But the Walk of Champions, to me, as like, why are we calling it what? Can we call it something else? Can we please call it something else? I get Alabama having a Walk of Champions. That makes sense. I get Ohio State having a Walk of Champions. That makes sense. I get USC having a Walk of Champions. That makes sense. Why is Ole Miss have a Walk of Champions?
Because Ole Miss in 1959, 60, and 62 claimed national championships. So
how old was your grandfather in 1962?
15.
Well, I think he might have just been born.
Actually, thank you.
1962.
No. He was in his teens.
1962. My grandfather would have been 18 years old.
My grandfather was 16 in 1962.
I'm trying to think.
Still wet behind the ears. So I don't want to hear no Walk of Champions.
He would have been 15, 47.
That's mine. So I'm pretty sure I can think of another one, but that's just the one that comes to the top of my head.
Okay. Josh?
My least favorite is Clemson running down the hill. And also, first, Clemson taking a bus.
Yeah, no, that's
first. And then running down the hill.
I'll say
you're doing too much pregame. Like
as somebody that's been there and seen it, I will say it is electric. It's fire when you're there. I get like saying it sucks, but being there in the atmosphere, it's fire.
Hey, I'm just saying.
The only thing I don't like is the bus part. I think the actual running down the hill, touching Howard's Rock and all that, I think that's actually one of the coolest traditions. But the whole bus thing, I'm with you on that, Josh. That's just like, this is your own campus. Why are you taking a bus to the stadium? This is your campus. Okay.
And I'm pretty sure they just take it around the stadium.
But for what, though?
Regardless.
For pomp and circumstance? What are you taking a bus around the stadium?
I can't remember if they get dressed in a different facility, kind of like how ECU gets dressed in the locker room over in the ward building.
But they can still walk to the stadium 30 yards away.
I don't think Clemson is that way. I'm trying to remember. I think they.
You might be right. Yeah, they're where they actually get dressed in locker room.
But then they have a locker room in the
I know
stadium.
they got a locker room in the stadium though,
because they have to go somewhere for halftime.
Exactly. But one of them schools is they got 15 locker rooms, 15 different facilities and things like that because they just got money. So
I asked this question and I have a couple. There's things I just hate. I hate a lot. I'll say let me preface it by saying I want to revisit the Kinnick wave. I'm not a huge fan of it. I love what it means. I don't like when it's done or how it's done. Josh, I'd love to hear your opinion.
I personally am not a fan of the juxtaposition of having a children's hospital at a college football stadium. That is my gripe. The wave, that is a byproduct. That is a socially acceptable byproduct of you building a children's hospital with an overlook of a college football stadium. The thing is this: the children in the hospital, I would much rather them be in the stadium, if possible, and the wave only be for the children who are not able to come to the game themselves. That would make sense.
I'm fine with
that. But you don't even have the decency to let every child who is at that hospital for a reason, come to the football game for free.
They're there for a reason.
Right?
They have cancer, Josh.
You see what I'm saying? So to me, it's like, you're waving at them. Is there not a better way to do things? I'm just saying, because the wave to me makes it seem like you're guys, you're up there. No, what are we doing, guys? Why are we waving at the kids? But I get that we're recognizing that they're there, but it's a children's hospital.
That's my thing. I don't like when it's done because it's in the middle of the game, and I want my two teams, because it's both teams doing it. I want my two teams out there wanting to punch each other in the face.
I think a big part of it is acknowledging the children who are fighting for their lives to begin with.
Yeah, do it before the game.
These children. I understand what Josh is saying, and I agree wholeheartedly with that point. Those who can actually be willing and able to get to the game should be allowed in the game. And I ain't talking about little just seats and wherever. I'm talking about box seats too. These kids should be in families in box.
You think they want to be sitting out there watching Iowa's offense in 2-degree weather? No.
But obviously it was done on purpose. But then when you look at a lot of children's hospitals, because I've seen a lot of children's hospitals, they overlook highways and pastures with nothing. So I definitely think it's something decent at the very least for these kids who do love it, by the way. It's not like these kids don't love it, to be able to say, oh, I can look right out the window and see Kinnick Stadium. I can see these guys that I love watching play college football. And then, oh, by the way, everybody is waving an acknowledgement of me. It's a space and a time for them to acknowledge the kids. Take away from college football. It's just a game. College football is literally just the game. I don't give a damn about, I want my guys to be geared up and fired up. If I'm playing college football, I'm fired up when I'm waving at these kids oh, cool, I'm playing for them. I'm going to go out there and play harder that way. I don't know.
I want one opposing team coach.
It's not a bad thing.
To say, no, we're not waving.
The Kinnick wave is not, in no world is that a bad thing. In no world.
Why would you want an opposing team to not wave?
Because I want them fired up. I want them to say, never mind.
What are we talking about here? There's
no world
where it exists that this is a bad thing.
I didn't say it was a bad. I'm just saying that it can be done much better.
But I do agree with that point though. Yeah, the children that are.
I think it should be during a different time of the game.
Absolutely.
I think it should just be during a different time of the game.
What time?
Is it
the game to do that?
Okay.
I think you do it during the. I think you do it during the coin toss.
Yeah, actually, pre-game ceremonies.
Yeah,
Pre-game ceremonies,
if you do it,
yes,
do it in the coin toss.
Yeah, because it's I wouldn't say during the coin toss because coin toss is after the national anthem. I think if you really wanted to make it something,
the teams aren't out on the field for national anthem.
I know, but what I'm saying is do it while the band is doing pregame. Make it a piece of the fanfare of the pregame and preparing for the game, because during that time you're thinking about the national anthem, the solemnness of that moment, your alma mater, the solemnness of that moment, right? All that fanfare, but also recognizing that there is humanity as well, right? I think that's a perfect time.
I think either of those times works. Like I would be fine to do that. I think it's good to have both teams on the field to wave, but I also don't want, like, once the coins toss, once you're out there lined up, I don't want to wave.
It doesn't take away from the game.
It doesn't. But I want to think of my team. If I'm East Carolina going in to Kinnick Stadium.
You're overthinking this, Jared.
In Iowa.
You were so overthinking this.
Artie, last year, there may have been negative points scored last year between Iowa and ECU.
But what I was like, if Iowa actually had any sort of competent offense, hell, they might have won a national championship. How good their defense was. It doesn't take away from the game. That's all I'm saying.
I'm just saying, from an outsider, like if I was at a game at Kinnick, am I going to turn around and wave? Hell yes, I am. I don't want. I don't.
No, you don't want to be the jackass who doesn't wave to sick children. No, you don't want to be that.
Fuck them kids.
Jared scrolling on FanDuel like, man, this is a horrible Saturday.
I can't believe they made me wave to kids, man. This is cool shit.
Prop. Will opposing team wave to fans? I'm sorry. Yeah, that's the one that I honestly probably have. Like, I don't hate it. I think it needs to be done differently. And I think about it.
So many things about college football need to be done differently, but we're gonna focus on the Kinnick way.
That may be one of my Roman empires of college football. You can find me sitting here on a Tuesday afternoon thinking about the marketing team from Iowa getting everything ready, and somehow somebody messed up the first time they did it, and now they're going to do it during. I think they do it during the second quarter.
I don't know when it is. I thought it was before the fourth quarter.
It might be, but like I don't know. Just during the game's not the right time. They're like, oh wait, we need to wave to these kids
at the end of the first quarter.
That's what I thought. Once again, college football casual, Josh. Come at me, bro. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. No. I don't even want to try to come up with another one. Like I think the ones that we've mentioned are outside of the Ole Miss one. I don't really care about them. I would agree. Like the bus thing is kind of lame, but touching Howard's Rock and running down the hill is pretty cool. But yeah, I wanted to revisit the Kinnick wave. We may be the only podcast that has talked about it in a negative way 3 times.
No. Let the record reflect. Artemis Brower is all in on the Kinnick wave. I'm all in. Don't loop me into no negative comments on the Kinnick wave.
Artemis Brower, president, 20.
Don't loop me in on that.
And producer Josh is not anti.
Nobody's anti Kinnick wave.
You just said you were. You just said
I said I don't want it during the game. Do it before the game.
it takes away from the game. Nothing. Nothing gets taken away from the actual play of the game. I'm telling you, it does not take away from the game whatsoever.
All right, I've got one.
And it's at the end of the first quarter.
Helmet stickers. I think they're stupid.
I don't mind helmet. What's wrong with helmet stickers?
I think they're stupid.
It's unique.
They fall off.
I think they're stupid. Like nobody knows. Like you made a play. All right, congrats. This isn't Pop Warner football. You're playing in the Big Ten. You don't need a Buckeye.
It's not for you, Jared. It's for them.
I get it, but it's stupid.
It's uniquely college football. And it's not for the casual or the fan. It's for the people in the locker room.
It's not uniquely college football. In NASCAR, at the top 3 levels, if you win a race, you get to put a sticker on your car. You get to put the checkered flag on your car. It's not college football specific. Let's remember that.
But helmet-wise.
No, I mean, college hockey does the same thing.
But did they get it from college football?
I mean, yeah.
Okay.
Like Ohio State hockey, I'm pretty sure does the same thing that Ohio State football does.
If it was borrowed from college football, though.
I still don't think
about the originator.
I still don't care for it. Now, granted, if ECU didn't had like a 2 sabers, cross sabers.
Oh man, look at the skull and crossbones.
Yeah,
you helmet. I love it.
Fuck you for thinking anything different, dude. You asshole. Jesus. All right, let's wrap this damn thing up. Walk the plank. Y'all got to walk the plank. Other than telling me to walk the plank for being a college football casual, and Josh, I'm gonna pick on that forever because I love it. I love it.
No, I'm happy you called him out, Josh. I'm happy you called him out.
I love the text message Brandon sent to the group, making me bring out my knowledge. Had to turn my brain on once talking to y'all. Anybody got to walk the plank? I've got one, but I want to see if y'all have one first.
I'll go ahead and hit first. Walk the plank to Corey LaJoy, NASCAR driver number 7 for Spire. Finally, we are released from Corey LaJoy being at the top level of NASCAR. I hope that he has an outstanding career in anything else other than that. He has wrecked enough people. He has stepped on enough toes. Just so glad he will not be driving the number 7 next year.
Josh, I know it may take a second to pull up. I just sent a text to the group chat. This is my walk the plank. Did y'all see the opener for the UCLA head coach, Deshaun Foster, at Big Ten Media Days?
Yes, definitely saw it.
Here, let's roll the clip.
Go ahead, roll the clip. This will be my first time. I didn't actually not see it.
We don't have to watch the whole thing. The first part's like brutal.
Coach Foster, welcome to the Big Ten. We'll begin with your opening statement.
How you guys doing? I'm happy to be here. Glad to be a part of this great conference. Finally putting 2 great emblems together, UCLA and the Big Ten. We're a school that's won, 123 championships, so this fits us being right in this conference. Football-wise, we're just excited. I'm sure you guys don't know too much about UCLA, but our football program, but we're in LA. It's us and USC. I'm just basically excited. Really. That's it. Any questions?
He said, "You guys don't know who we are." Kelly was your coach last year. We know who you are. You were the running backs coach. You were the running backs coach last year. How do you not? Why do you think people don't know who you are?
We're in LA
with USC.
USC.
Yo, no way. Nah, that can't be real life. No, that cannot be real life.
Hey, just a reminder, Eric Bieniemy is the offensive coordinator of that team. Doesn't look promising at all. Does not look promising at all.
Oh, my goodness. Oh, God. Wow.
That would have game.
And then, like, it's like he had the revelation in his head, like, oh, I'm saying some dumb shit. I'm going to be quiet. I'm excited to be here.
When he went up to the side and smiled, I knew it was over. I knew he didn't have anything left. He had nothing left. And he looked up. He said,
He's the same. That's the guy that forgot his note cards for his class presentation.
Oh, man.
Didn't do any part of the project. The smart girl in the group gave him some note cards, said say this part, and he left them at home.
No. He left him on his desk at the back of the classroom, and he's looking to his friend to pass it up to him.
Can you hand me those?
I mean, look, I'll say it could.
Let me ask you.
Right? Obviously.
Who
if you're gonna be a head coach of a big brand in Los Angeles,
oh my gosh!
Oh, good luck, brother. Good luck.
Oof. Thought I was watching Joe Biden up there.
Oh gosh!
Wow, no, that's bad. That's bad.
Deshaun Foster walked the damn plank. I saw that, and the first thing I thought about was walk the plank.
Oof.
Come on, man.
But you can't rag on a Panthers legend, Deshaun Foster.
I would have never pulled that.
02 to 07, running back. Don't forget it.
Damn, I didn't know that. I was watching the Panthers from 02 to 07. Damn.
Played in the Super Bowl. In 06, he signed a 3-year, $14.5 million contract.
Wow.
And he led the team in rushing attempts for the next 2 seasons.
He talks like he has
time with D'Angelo Williams.
That is crazy.
He was running the rock. He was running the rock more than D'Angelo Williams, and you guys don't remember him?
No.
He was the guy.
And, like, the thing is, like, that Super Bowl team, like Jake Delhomme, Muhsin Muhammad, Steve Smith, like, I remember that offense.
And Deshaun Foster was the running back. Like that was the guy.
Damn.
I'll be honest. I didn't grow up an NFL fan until later on in life, so I didn't care.
Oh yeah, no, I've been watching since 01, baby. 01.
Nope, I didn't care. I couldn't tell you anything about the NFL growing up.
At the very least, it don't get no worse than that. It literally does not get worse than that. So he started.
Only way to go is up,
and now all he can do is go up. So
that may have been the first live reaction that we've ever done on this podcast. And watching Artie's reactions made my night.
That was awful. I just felt so bad. That was cringe.
We've all been there though. But you're going into the media days. You've got one job: to answer questions and to talk about your football team.
Well, at least when you're the head coach of a program like that, at least have a team around you that prepares you. Where's his team? You got a team that prepares you for this. Like,
it's like you would think that he has the University of Central Arkansas's staff budget.
That's crazy. I mean, this is Los Angeles. I know you got a PR person. I know you got a manager. I know you got a team.
6.
I know you got a team.
What, teleprompter stopped working? I don't know. You can't blame it on being drunk like Ingrid did last week, but maybe you should. Shout out Mike Gundy. All right. That's it for Walk the Plank. Y'all, I don't have anything else. Good episode. Here's to hating everything that sucks of college football. But college football is
Day
still
week.
the best. And I mean, we're closing in on what, 40 days? I think we're at like 41.
We're getting close. Yeah.
If my math is right.
Week 0 will be here right around the corner, and week 1 right after that. So getting close.
Maybe we'll start our team previews, our game previews next week. All right, guys. Well, let's get out of here. But before we do, shout out to the Variety Sports Network for letting us do our thing. Shout out College Huddle. Make sure you subscribe. This is an episode that you will want to go back and like watch on YouTube. Subscribe on YouTube so that way you can make sure you get all that content. This one was a good one. This was honestly one of our funnier episodes. So shout out to y'all. At least in my other people may think we sucked, but if you do, you can walk the damn plank. If you think that, you can walk the damn plank. Go back, watch this on YouTube. You're gonna enjoy it. Leave us a review on Apple, Spotify, Google Podcasts, wherever you listen to your podcast. 5-star review, friend of the podcast for life. Artie, if they leave a 1-star review, what can they do?
Walk the damn plank.
All right, and then follow us on social media at Boneyard Podcast. All right, that's all I got. Artie, let's get out of here.
As always, Pirate Nation. Until next week, we love y'all. Wash your hands, wash your butts. Deuce.
Peace.